So you don't want to have an induction.
I did not.
And they're, about to schedule you for an induction?
Before they were about to schedule me for an induction,
they
were trying to say, oh, you might need to come back tomorrow or something. And I was like, I don't want to be induced.
Yeah.
Help. So we call you, and where are you?
I'm in Chicago.
She's in Chicago. She is in Chicago.
I'm in Chicago.
So another reason I'm like, this cannot happen. This can't happen.
I am freaking out. Welcome to Positive Birth Experience. I'm MaryNissi, your host, where we're changing the narrative about birth, like one positive story at a time. And today we have Amanda with us.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
I know that it takes some stuff it takes a lot to move around to make this happen.
These days.
So I am very, very grateful that you're here.
No problem.
So tell us about you, and then tell us, like, how old were you when you were giving birth to your baby girl?
Yes. So I was 32.
Okay.
When I gave birth to my baby girl, Aria, who is now 13 months. I know. It's crazy to think that was a year ago. I'm from this area, Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher. So my mom is Black, my dad is white.
Okay.
So we get that a lot. So my husband's actually Indian.
Yeah.
My whole life, people have asked me if I'm Indian, and then I married an
Indian guy.
So now my daughter is Indian.
I love it.
But I am not, for anybody wondering. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Cool. Thank you. No, thank you for sharing. I always think, like, it's so beautiful to kind of like talk about who we are and our background and where we come from. Because, like, I think the whole beauty about birth is that it looks so different for, like, so many different people. And that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm always like, tell us about yourself. Like, this is because that's what makes you unique. Tell us about your pregnancy. Like, so how did you, like, plan? How did you prepare? Did you plan to have a baby, like, at the time that you were pregnant?
Yes. Okay. So we did plan to have a baby around that time. We figured we got married in 2022.
Yeah.
And our biggest goal was we wanted to have at least 1 year to ourselves.
Yes.
To just, a little bit of traveling.
Yeah.
We just got a new house, just had that time without a baby.
Yeah.
And then, so it was intentional. It wasn't like, oh no,
yeah,
what's going on here?
Yeah.
When, like, finding out that I was pregnant, like, what did we do to prepare and plan? We called you.
I always think about, Alvin. I think he called me or texted me. I couldn't remember, like, what it was. He called me because we were camping.
Okay.
We were camping, right? So for everybody's context, like, I've known, Alvin before I knew you.
Yes. So yeah, MaryNissi and Alvin, my husband, were friends first.
Yes.
And I will never forget the day I met MaryNissi. I feel like she was low-key grilling me.
No, I forever regret that day. I was like, I did. I asked you all the questions.
Alvin jokes about it. He's like, I feel like you talk to MaryNissi more than I do, and she's become more of your friend.
He did. He texted me. He was like, you're my friend first. I was like, I'm so sorry.
I don't think that, that's important.
Right.
But yes, so we did have, that connection, which does make me wonder, if we didn't already know you, would having a doula had, like, come to my mind.
Right.
A part of me wants to say maybe, because, I've seen doulas on Instagram.
Yeah.
But up until this point, I didn't have any friends who used a doula. I didn't have many friends who had babies.
Right.
It's funny because afterwards, my best friend finds out she's pregnant, and she calls me to find your contact info. I find 2 other friends who were talking to you and used you for many things. So I want to say maybe I would have sought it out, but I don't know 100% if I would have, but I am glad that I did. So of course I did do the usual Google searching, which I'm sure everybody does when they find out that they're pregnant. And then you call the doctor's office and they're like, great, we'll see you in like 2 months or whatever.
It's the worst thing ever.
The amount of weeks
like,
is,
what do you mean?
I'm like, I have to wait this long to come in for an appointment. So half of that time, I'm like, am I really pregnant? Like,
100%.
Was this test telling me the truth?
True.
Like, it was like a lot of it was mental for me, to be honest. Like,
no, you're right.
So a lot of my preparation was getting my mental space together. We also did have 1 miscarriage first.
Right.
So it was only about 5-6 weeks along. So, definitely a painful memory, but we were able to recover, I guess fairly quickly from it. So that played in my mind too, like, well, is this real this time?
Yeah.
And then had to put the doctor's appointment in the calendar. Like, I can't believe I have to wait all this time to go into the doctor's office for them to. But they did order the blood test, and seeing that number compared to my number the first time gave me a lot of confidence.
You're like,
but we still waited until that appointment to tell you. And I think that's when you were camping.
Oh, got you.
Because I was like, I just want to wait.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Before. I feel like you gave a lot of advice on, like, ways to physically prepare, ways to mentally prepare. I did do like affirmations every day, like in the car on the way to work.
That's right.
Prayer was definitely helpful during this time. I was pretty active before getting pregnant, so I wanted to make sure I continued to do that. Although, full transparency, I got to a point where I couldn't do my Peloton rides anymore because every time I would get on the bike, I had to pee.
I remember that.
And it's like, I didn't want to get off the bike every 10 minutes to pee.
You were like, I cannot continue. I have to pee every second.
So I just did my yoga and went for my walks. And that did, I feel like, help me prepare.
Yeah. We did a class together. So, because I remember that because that was part of like, I used to kind of like have, and I think I had told you this before, I used to have like group classes.
Yes.
And I think that was just dwindling down at that point. So I was just doing like personalized like classes.
Which was very nice because you came to
us
and you brought all of your doula things.
My stuff.
The peanut ball, the big bouncy ball.
Yes, we have pictures.
We definitely have
and your
pictures.
Dogs were right there.
Yes, they were.
Part of the class.
They were part of a lot of things. Part of the class.
Part of the birth. Oh my God.
Part of labor.
Yes.
If you have dogs, be prepared for them to be part of the experience.
So you planned, the physical aspect, the spiritual part, because I remember you would share that like, on your drive to work, that was time for prayer, that was time for affirmations.
Yep.
And did you know what kind of birth you wanted?
So I do remember the first time you asked me that question. And I just remember not much coming to mind. Just feeling like I wanted it to be an overall good experience. Like that was really the only thing I could think of was I just want this to be a good, positive experience. Like I want to look back on this and feel like, like have positive memories, enjoyable memories. Like I didn't want it to be traumatic.
Yeah.
Like that was literally like my bar.
That was literally what you said to me too.
Because you do hear a lot.
Yes.
At that time, I had a couple, not a lot, but a couple of friends who had babies, one of which had a pretty difficult experience for her first one.
Yeah.
So, when that's what's fresh in your mind, when you are asked that question, it's kind of like, well, I just want it to go smoothly.
Yes.
I just, want everything to be okay.
Yes. I remember that. And you had some ideas though, right? To what that would look like, specifically with like, I remember around like, whether you want an unmedicated or medicated birth.
So honestly, I feel like I was still on the fence.
You were still on the fence.
I was.
You're right.
I was on the fence, guys. Because here's the thing. You can prepare and plan, but at the end of the day, especially when it's your first, like you don't know.
You don't know.
So I didn't. There was a part of me that wanted to fully, with confidence, be like, I want to do this unmedicated. But I felt like I couldn't fully tell myself that without like knowing
what it's going to actually feel like.
Because then I didn't want to disappoint myself if I changed my mind.
100%.
So I just got to a point where I was like, well, we talked through options and like talked to the hospital and the doctor, like what are like alternatives to an epidural. Where I was, it was a great experience at the hospital that I was at. But they didn't have many other like pain management like options that I know are available in other places. So my goal was to just go for it. But then if I feel like I need the epidural, get it.
Then you get it.
And spoiler alert, I got it.
I remember that. Right, you did say that. You said I want to go with the flow and kind of like see how it goes. Do you think that's connected to like just like who you are as a person? Like, are you that person who kind of like will like prepare and then will like go with the flow with how things work?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that I am, I don't know where it falls on the type A, type B
the whole
scale.
Listen, there's a lot
I know I'm not type A.
Got you.
Like but I'm also not like just flying like by a whim all the time either.
I tend to be that person.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I made it as far as I could.
Yes.
Until I said, you know what, guys? I'm going to get
an epidural to get some rest. Yes, we will dive into it in a second for sure. I think, one of the things I keep saying is like, whoever we are is who we bring into this like birthing space, right? Because people are always like, girl, you go be someone else. I'm like, no, you're not.
Right. Yeah.
And when you
I
said
remember
that,
you talking to me about that before too.
Right.
Like, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Because as you share, you're like, I went with the flow. I'm like, oh yeah, that's who you are. Like you are that person who's like, you are going to plan, you're going to like have, things that you put in place and you're going to be like, and then we'll figure out, right? Yep. Like that, you have that openness to you where like, okay, and I'm open to what this might look like. Let me take a second and share with you about the Doula Guide Bundle. Something I created after 10 years of supporting families through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. It includes the same step-by-step tools I use with my clients to help them feel confident, prepared, and grounded. So you can grab the full bundle or get them individually down below. Let's dive in. Let's dive into this birth.
Okay.
Where did we stop at? The call? Okay, so we're done talking on the phone.
Yes. And I think we sent you then, are you talking about like when we first told you that we were pregnant?
No. So you called me
about the induction.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, although I was willing to go with the flow, that was a river I was not trying to flow through.
There we go. I love that. That was not it. That was not the road.
Like of course, I know that certain things happen for certain reasons.
Yeah.
And I know that there are a lot of positive births where there either was an induction or a C-section. But for me, those were two things I really just did not want. So the reason why they wanted to induce me originally was because my baby was measuring small. Around the 3rd trimester, they asked us to come in for appointments every week.
That's right.
So every Tuesday I did.
And
this is separate from the regular just OBGYN appointments.
Right. And mind you, you were like in a classroom.
Bi-weekly at this point.
They're bi-weekly at this point.
Yes. Oh, and I'm a teacher.
But you're a teacher trying to do a weekly.
Yes. So at one point, I just had standard subplans. Like my poor class was doing the same thing every Tuesday afternoon.
There we go. That worked.
They survived. It was close to the end of the school year. I love that group of kids.
Right. They didn't mind it.
Everything was great. Yeah. They knew she's an appointment today. She's leaving early. We got to be good for the sub.
I love it.
Which most of the time they were. At the appointments, they get the tape measure and they measure your belly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which for me, I was like, man, this is the time where I'm supposed to have a really big belly. Where is it? Where are you?
Yeah.
Are you in here? I had a belly, but it wasn't I'm seeing pictures of people, which, comparison is not a fun game.
But people have
their, right.
You're like,
pictures of people that are further or not as far along as me and their bellies look so much bigger. So my belly was measuring small, which then prompted them to set me up for another ultrasound to do a growth check. And then according to that growth check, I forget the number. I want to say maybe 7. I think she was in the 7th percentile. So every week I then had to go, starting at the 3rd trimester, I went every week for the non-stress test and an ultrasound. So that was 3 separate things that had to do on those visits. Wow. So first one, they hook you up to a little ultrasound machine, but it's a test. There's I think 10 points that the baby has to get.
Yeah.
Which she passes flying colors each time. Yeah. Then the non-stress test, they put the, straps on you, and you have a button that you press every time you feel the baby move. Then another full-on ultrasound. So cool thing about it for a person who was a little anxious through their pregnancy, every week I got to see she's good.
All is well.
It was a hassle, but then that was something we looked at as a positive. It's this is the most people don't get to see their baby this much or hear the heartbeat this 100%. Often. So in the grand scheme of things, it was cool.
Yeah.
But because she was showing growth, but it wasn't at the number that they wanted. So they had started telling me months prior, your OBGYN is probably going to recommend you getting induced, which I didn't understand. So immediately we called MaryNissi back when it was just a conversation, not when they were saying you should probably go tomorrow to talk to you about it. Because I wasn't fully understanding if you need more, she needs to grow more,
right?
Why would you want to take her out early? But the concern with her being small was, was there an issue with the placenta not getting nutrients? So once it hits a certain point, it would be wiser for her to get her nutrients outside of the body. So, I guess the logic started to make a little more sense to me, but I still just didn't want to do it because I didn't want to put my body in a position that it wasn't ready for, which I feel like can happen sometimes with inductions. So it was a constant conversation, but then we didn't really hear anything about it for a little while.
Yeah.
So I thought we were in the clear.
Yeah.
But then kind of fast forward a little bit to one of my usual Tuesday appointments.
Yes.
Which by this time it's end of the third trimester. So it's Tuesday all day appointments because I have the regular doctor appointment too. And they, they bring it up again. And then they're like, all right, well, let's go to when you go to your next non-stress test and all of that at the prenatal center, because I was in a different location, then we'll see what her final growth will be. So we go to that appointment, and this is, mind you, again, teacher, this is the last day of school. My due date was June 28th, and this is June 12th. My husband came and picked me up from work, and you know how it is when you're a teacher, you pack up your classroom every year because they go in and clean over the summer. So I have a car full of teacher materials, especially knowing I'm about to take a leave. I brought more stuff home than I normally would.
Yeah.
And they're doing the stuff, and my amniotic fluid is measuring really low. So they're like, yeah, so we might need to send you to triage today. I'm like, the bag's not packed. My car is full of teacher things. And that was when we called you.
This was the Chicago trip. That's where, and I was not.
Yes. And you were like, whoa. I'm not there. Make sure and MaryNissi, she offered to, be on the phone with us in the room with the doctor. But then we moved to the next ultrasound technician, and she was able to find enough pockets of fluid, which my fluid was low. On the lower end, which it's a long range. I think it's 5 to 25 or something like that. 5 to 20.
And what number were you?
They were struggling to find 5 that day. But I was always around 6, 7, 8. I was always on that lower end. So they came back in the room, they're like, you live to see another week. Great.
Great, thank you.
So then at the next appointment, they had told me, at this point, because of her numbers, we still do recommend an induction. So now I'm feeling torn. We both are, me and my husband are feeling torn between taking medical advice or not. Because I will say that although it was recommended to me and I didn't want that, I didn't feel pushed or unsafe, thankfully, because I know that can be a lot of women, especially Black women. They don't feel heard. They don't feel seen because they're not being heard or seen and listened to in these spaces at times. So thankfully, I didn't feel like that. So I did kind of feel what if something does go wrong because I chose not to do what they're saying?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm also but I feel like they're being overly cautious and they, the hospital, they just want to cover their butts just in case. So what we ended up doing was we set the appointment anyway. And we were just we'll still continue to think about this and we'll see how. So we set the appointment for a Thursday, but we still have these standing Tuesday appointments. So we're all right, when we go on Tuesday, we will then make that decision from there. Well, the decision was made for us because that Sunday night, I'm at a cookout at a friend's house. I just had a nice big old plate of Jamaican food.
You remember too.
Yes, it was great. It was great. And I start feeling something that feels like a period cramp. And I'm like, it's a little weird. Never felt this before. So go home, go to bed, wake up. I still feel like that. And that was when I texted you. Hey, I kind of am feeling cramps. And you're like, great.
Right. This is what we need. We need a sign. We need something.
I'm so does that mean that things are moving in the right direction?
You did ask that.
And you were like, yeah, just go about your day as normal. And I did. It was Sunday. It was Father's Day. I went to church. We went out to brunch with my uncle. But by the time I'm sitting at brunch, I'm noticing I'm feeling it about every hour and a half. So then I get home and I call you. I was on a curb walk, something that you taught me about. I was curb walking. And at one point on the curb walk, I had to stop and breathe for a second. So I was like, wait a second, these little period cramp things are coming a little intense. So again, I'm texting you and you're like, yeah, so those aren't cramps, those are contractions. I was like, okay.
This is what this is.
Yeah. So I finished my 45-minute walk, which, funny note to this story, I'm not really into astrology. I really don't. Don't tell me what your sign is because I'm not going to know.
You're like, oh, great.
I really don't know. But I have a friend who is a Cancer, and Aria's original due date was like Cancer season.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm friends with my friends on like the Apple Watch.
Yes.
So when the thing popped up on her watch that I did this long walk, like they were cracking up. One of my friends said something like, "What are you taking this Juneteenth freedom walk for? Like, why are you walking? Why are you marching around?" I'm like, because guys, they're trying to induce me, and I'm trying to do everything that I can to not let that happen. And
That's
sure enough,
hilarious.
it seemed to work. And she did not make it to Cancer season. She's a Gemini, whatever that means.
Right.
But so that night I go to lay down to watch the current thing I was binging on Netflix, and I'm starting to feel it more. So for kicks and giggles, I decided to start putting the notes, like put it in my notes for my phone, like how often is this happening? I'm noticing it's like every 20 minutes. I try to lay down to go to sleep. I can't sleep. I think I called you at like 2:00 in the morning.
Was it? It was okay.
Which I was very impressed that you answered, and you're like,
yes,
that's kind of my job.
Right? Yeah.
You're like, it's kind of my job to answer. Like, it's
Yes.
totally fine. Like, this is what you have me for. And I was expecting, guys, I think I was expecting her to be like, I'm coming over right now. Her energy was very calm.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, yep, you're going to need as much rest as you can get. So, if you want to just sit on your couch, like if laying down is uncomfortable, like just try to close your eyes and get as much rest as much rest as you can because you're gonna need it. And I was like, oh, she's not coming. Okay. So
even though around the corner,
right?
She's not coming.
Which rightfully so. Good thing you didn't, or else you would have been up for like 24 hours as well.
Right.
So I went in we had like, thankfully her room was set up, even though this was 10 days earlier than it was supposed to be, but thankfully all that was already done.
Yeah.
And I just sat in the lounge chair like this. And every 10 minutes woke up like, and then closed my eyes again. I let my husband sleep. So I was like, you're going to need like energy too. Like you don't need to not sleep because I'm like, in and out of sleep right now. So, but by the time he woke up, it's now Monday morning. We had plans to go to Costco that day. He was supposed to go to work.
Costco's like you guys think.
It is.
When I think about Costco, I think of you guys.
We love Costco. If anybody from Costco is watching and would like to offer us something, we'll happily accept.
We would take it. Thank you. Thank you very much. With open arms.
We are Costco people. But I just looked at him and I was like, yes. So all that stuff we have planned today, it's not going to happen because like this is happening
This is happening in this moment.
So thinking about like preparing, we had gone through like, I wouldn't call it a birth plan because you told us not to say plan, but birth preferences. And we had also talked about like, maybe having like some meals and things ready. That was the point of the Costco trip that didn't happen.
You were supposed to go make meals to prepare for a postpartum.
Yeah, so, thankfully, shout out to just like friends and family and having a village because we needed some people to come through for us 100%. Around that time. So I think it was around like noon-ish. You made your way over.
Yep. I remember it was like
very
daylight.
Calm.
Yeah.
Like just like, show me what you've been doing this whole time. And then, you just walked us through it. We did another walk. We did all the different like positions, and something back into the preparation was you also worked with my partner on how to support me. So the birth team was husband, you, and my mom. So there was always somebody kind of available to help. And the dogs were just like at my feet, like looking very concerned.
They were very concerned.
Very concerned the whole time. Another funny tidbit into your calm energy. I did have a couple thoughts where I was like, why is she still so chill?
I'm cracking up.
Why are we
you
not
know
getting
I'm not
in the
that
car
chill
yet?
in
I know. Like, but I know, especially looking back on it, it was because you were taking into consideration what I said I wanted, which was to be like, in my own space and not stressed like for as long as possible. I wasn't thinking about that at the time when things were just a little painful.
Yeah.
That day, the hospital called me.
That's right.
To say like, hey, we actually have an available appointment if you wanted to come in today for your induction. And I was like, haha. Funny story. I was going to call you guys today because I'm definitely in labor.
Yes.
So it was pretty long. Everything kind of started Sunday night. We didn't go to the hospital until about what?
Monday night.
It was Monday night. And I think we left. It was dark outside.
It was closer to...
It was like 8, 9 o'clock, right? Because what really was the last straw for me, which you can hop in here.
Wait, but before you go there, you labored at home. Like, I think one of my favorite memories is going outside, walking for like the 20th time, right? Because we were like trying to find like different rhythms.
Yes, majority of my labor was at home.
Yes. And I just remember like walking like on the street, like it's you, right? It's your hubby. I don't remember who had the water bottle. Was it me or him? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Right? And your neighbors, like we had like cars honking.
People were, like, honking.
And like congratulate, you got this. I think somebody said, you got this.
I think so.
I was like, oh
that was
my
very
God.
sweet. Shout out to my neighbors. I'm getting pretty uncomfortable, so we decided to do the bath.
Right.
Because I did a shower earlier and that felt good, but I hadn't done a bath. So we never used a tub before.
Yeah.
So I'm in the tub and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I can hang on home a little while longer. Then we hear my mom yell from downstairs, Alvin? The water from the tub was leaking through the ceiling into the kitchen, out of like the recessed lights.
And I was like, oh.
So like
God.
we're mad about that, but like clearly it's not the most important thing in the world right now. So,
but it totally like messed up the whole vibe.
It did. It completely messed up the vibe because then I'm still trying to keep a good attitude.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, I'll go back to the shower.
Yeah.
But the bath was really enticing to me because I didn't want to stand. Get back in the shower and the hot water's gone.
That's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
So at that point, I got out of the shower. I looked at Alvin and I said, you need to tell MaryNissi that I don't want to be home anymore. I think I want to just go to the hospital. I think I want the drugs because I just don't want to do this anymore.
Over it.
Because at this point, it's been like 24 hours almost, and I was tired.
And you're tired.
And I remember coming downstairs and my mom being like, you're doing great. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, everybody told me I wasn't mean, but I guess in my head, I thought I was.
No, not at all.
That's the reaction that I got.
Not at all.
But I just remember thinking like, I mean, I have no other choice. Like, how am I doing a good job? I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I remember her also saying like, I remember telling you, I think I'm going to cave. Like, I think I'm going to get the epidural. And she was like, well, I know you can do this if you wanted to. I said, I can do all things.
You better.
But I don't want to.
I'm going to quote scripture and then I'm going to tell you that
I don't actually want to do that anymore. I would actually like a little bit of relief because it was feeling it was just getting on top of each other.
Yes.
So we get in the car, we get there. Although we go to the doctor's office once a week, Alvin makes a wrong turn.
That's right.
Into the post office. Parking lot. At this point, I feel like she's about to come out of my butt. I'm like in my seat like this. Like,
make this the wrong turn.
We get there and my mom rams me into the wall with the wheelchair and I'm just like, what is happening? What is my birth team doing?
Right. You're not doing this right.
Triage was extremely quick. They do the check and they say, oh, you're 7 centimeters. You can go back right now. And then they even sped up the epidural for me because they were afraid that I was going to miss the window. So I don't regret the decision, although it did then make things longer. So the epidural slowed things down for me. She was not born until 4:47 a.m. And we checked in around maybe by the time it was all said and done, it was probably like 10 p.m.
Right.
So it slowed things down a lot. I pushed for a total of 2 hours, which sounds overwhelming, but when it's happening every 6 minutes,
right,
and you're having breaks in between, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So pushing was cool because it's like you're really getting somewhere now.
Right? Like we're talking, it feels good.
Yeah.
I think pushing feels good.
Yeah, and the encouragement, like everybody like cheering me on, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were rested.
Yeah, I definitely, like, clearly I didn't fall asleep.
Right.
But contractions went from feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
To, oh, I think that was one.
No, it was
not gonna lie.
And you
that
had
was
been
nice.
having contractions for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like we talk about labor. Labor is labor. It's a lot on the body, and you're so exhausted.
Yeah.
Like you really are. And you got the chance to like rest. We all did. Shoot.
Yeah.
First of all, your hubby did not sleep. Because he could not.
He didn't.
He was just, he could, I was like, I need you to like, just like, you know? No, he couldn't. He was just like, this is my wife. Like,
yeah.
I would do anything. And I'm like, sleeping would be one of it for her.
Yeah.
But no,
he just wanted to make sure I was okay. And clearly I was.
Yeah.
Like, and even like, again, like they did ask me if I wanted to do Pitocin just to help speed things along. But thankfully, I didn't feel like they were like trying to force it on me. I didn't feel like they were just trying to get me in and out. And I am very thankful for that because I know that that could have easily not been the case.
Right.
So when I told them I didn't want to do that, I was okay with it taking longer, especially because I was having relief from the contractions.
Right.
I was like, we can now.
We're good.
We
You're like, I want to sleep.
I remember asking, like, is this epidural going to run out? And they were like, no. I was like, then we're good.
Great. Then we're good.
And I'm good.
Why are we speeding things up?
I'm cool to keep going nice and slow here. So
I remember
ended up
that
Tuesday morning.
Yep. I remember, right? Because it's like, what's the rush? Like, let's let the body do what it, know, it wants to do. And there was,
10 days early.
Oh my God!
Here she was.
Oh my goodness! Tell us a little bit about just like that early postpartum. I know you mentioned about having the village with food. What are some things that can like happen in that?
So we had planned for my mom to stay with us for the first week, which was definitely helpful. So she like cooked and did a lot of the cleaning. I was breastfeeding, so a lot of like the time with her just naturally fell to me. So it was nice to have help with the house and meals and maybe being able to take a quick nap, even though they did have to wake me to be like, sorry, but I've tried everything I can, and she's definitely hungry, so we need you now.
So we need your boobs now.
Yeah, like you're up. And then we did have to just go to the pediatrician like pretty much like the next day, or the day after for a weight check.
I always get mad about that trip because I'm like, yo, we just got home,
right? Like I'm
can
like
we talk about that?
Still walking kind of slow,
right.
Now I got to go into the doctor's office with this new baby, and it was a heat wave. It's like 90 degrees outside. But she was totally fine. So I do understand like why they had the caution with me with her weight. But one of the things that we had talked to them about was, so Alvin's family was telling us that like apparently a lot of South Indian babies are on the smaller side. And then like we're both not tall people.
No, like, those are very petite folks.
Like there were a lot of reasons to support why she was like, even now, like she's a smaller 1-year-old than like she's probably like the shortest kid in her class or something, you know? So we did get the placenta tested because at this point I was curious. But when the results came back, like there was no like issue with the placenta. She just was a small baby. So I am glad that everything worked out the way that it did. I didn't really have to end up being forced to make that decision because she made it for me. Which I was very thankful for. I think that like bringing her home, like definitely I was not, even though you talk about things, experiencing them is different. I don't think I was prepared for like just how like emotional postpartum is, like with your hormones being all crazy. Even though I knew I'm not typically like a super, super emotional person. Like literally the first day we got home, I cried because the dog barked at her. I was like, how is this gonna work? The dog and the baby.
Of course. Of course.
And then she slept more at the hospital. She didn't sleep when we got home.
No, it's that, I'm telling you, it's that day when you get home. I swear to you, they go through like a bird. What is it called?
It's like a hunger thing.
Yeah,
though.
like
they're hungry.
happens, and you were fine in this hospital.
You know what I'll say? If you have a birth at a hospital and they give you that little packet of information, read it because it said that. in the packet. It said like around like day 4, like they might have like a growth spurt and they're going to want to cluster feed. And even if you feel like you just fed them, they probably need to be fed again. And then you had actually sent my husband a voice memo.
I did.
About that, trying to prepare us, but he didn't open the message because we were just, busy with the newborn. Right? So after we survived that horrible night, I read the little book the hospital gave. He listened to your voice memo. We were like, so I was supposed to just stay up all night. We did fine. It's totally fine. So then we were prepared for the next time.
I know. I try to send it like that day because I know that it's just a lot of information, right? Like you just gave birth. Who has time? So I'm always like trying to figure out what's the perfect time to listen to it.
If he listened to it before that night, but it's totally fine. It's okay. It all worked out.
Yeah.
Everything is a learning experience.
Yeah. So tell us, like, as we're finishing off, like, what does positive birth mean to you, and kind of like what advice or even maybe like affirmation that you would like pass on to like the next person?
I feel like positive birth is going to look differently for everybody.
100%.
Like for example, I know somebody who had a C-section and it was planned and it was a positive birth experience, whereas for me, I did not have a C-section. So I think that positive birth is just getting your baby here.
Yeah.
Getting your baby here safely, having people like surrounding you that are encouraging you along the way, uplifting you, and just also like being heard throughout the experience. Especially when it's your first. Actually, scratch that. It doesn't have to be your first because it can be your second or third, but your pregnancy and your labor, your birth could be going completely differently.
Yeah.
So just like making sure that you have like hopefully at least one person around who can help like advocate for you and all that good stuff. Reminding yourself like your body was made to do this. Like really like your body was like made to do this and like you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're capable.
Yeah.
You have what you need even if you feel like you don't.
Even if you feel like you don't. I love that. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. I'm just like so grateful. It's really cool to like relive the story too.
Yeah.
Like not everybody on the podcast, like I'm not everybody like I'm their doula, right? So this is also like super special.
So I guess special edition. I don't know how many of your guests also
Right.
But this is a special case where you were my actual doula. So you were there for this whole entire thing, even down to the bathtub leaking through the ceiling.
Yes, 100%. And I'm honored and I'm so grateful. And I am so grateful. Until next time, we will be here next week for another positive birth story. Again, share this with another mama and someone else who can be encouraged, because we really are talking about, changing the narrative around birth, right? There's good births that happen and they look different, right? They look different because we're also different. So hit that subscribe, notification, all the things, and see you next week.